How's my background look? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Welcome. This is the first installment of BACCO on YouTube. My name is Brandon. I teach cartooning to kids probably about the age between 8 and 12, maybe a little older, maybe a little younger, but that's about the range. And everyone else is doing a YouTube video right now, so I thought maybe I should do one myself. What I'm going to teach you today is how to draw a tree, but not just any tree. An alien happy tree, which doesn't really make any sense because why would aliens be trees? And why would they be happy? Oh, let's just draw it anyways. And I will actually be drawing on Autodesk Sketchbook on my computer. So I'm not going to be drawing on a piece of paper. I'm going to be drawing on a computer program. I'll share the computer program with you. I'll share the screen so you can see exactly what I'm thinking as I go along the different stages. And each stage will have a different color to it. We're going to draw a straight line. This is going to be the trunk of the tree, but not yet. Right now, we're just drawing lines. Oh, look, a Y. Yeah, it's a Y. Stick with this. I know the kids are getting impatient already. Everything you draw has a framework to it. Look around you. Cars, homes, you, frames, skeletons, structures, whatever you want to call it. Everything has a frame. Except SpongeBob, because he's a sponge, but okay, not everything. So we're going to start with the framework, and we're going to start putting lines on either side of the lines I drew. And if you just heard that noise, that is my neighbor with his crappy car that sounds like it's about to fall apart at any second. So don't worry about it. My computer's not blowing up just yet. Now, if you notice, still in the blue section here, we drew the original lines, and then we've drawn parallel lines on either side of these lines. If you notice right now, it's starting to look a little bit like a tree, isn't it? Without any leaves. You see these sharp corners right here? Right here, right here, right here. We don't want those. So we're going to curve them off just a little bit. Like on a tree, everything's curved. Maybe a couple lines right here. This is more advanced. You don't have to do it, but I do it because, you know, when limbs attached to the trunk, there's usually a little bit of a buckle there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put something right here, a circle. This is where the face is going to go, but I'm not drawing the face just yet. I just want to know where it goes. This is important. These are called place markers. The reason I do this is because I'm going to come back to it later on and draw it. I'm not drawing it right now. I just want to know where the face goes. So when I finally come back to it, I didn't accidentally put something else in there. And now I'm like, oh, I guess I got to erase something. This is one thing I stress more often than anything else. Don't do more work than you absolutely have to. Please don't. Now that I've got the trunk and the limbs, let's go to the green section now. How are we doing with the green? That's good. Now what I'm going to do with the green section is draw more circles. And again, I know what you're saying. Alien tree. Looks more like an alien lollipop. Please, have patience. You know, like yoga people. Again, trust me on this one. It's a process. I'm going to put one right here as well. Maybe in the front. I know it's going to cover this up right here, but you'll see. You'll see it. You'll see enough wood beneath these leaves where covering some of this up is not going to matter. Again, this is why you don't draw details right away. You don't know what you're eventually going to be covering up. You have no idea, no clue whatsoever. So stay rough as long as you can. Do not go to details. No details just yet. And that's a rule. No details until I say so. We're going to add something here. Now, in the happy trees in the upcoming video, they don't have leaves at the end for hands. I should have in hindsight, but I already designed them. So, oh well, sucks to be me, right? Now you get to the point in this second section, we start adding stuff. Now I'm going to start doing a face. Now I'm going to start putting it in. Because if you notice, what if I drew this big and I wanted to put the face up here? Well, if I drew the face first right here, and then I wanted to put a big tuft of leaves here, guess what? I'm going to have to erase the face and drop it down. This looks like more work. It's not. It actually saves you work. You draw less because you don't waste time on stuff you're eventually going to erase. Ah, see? Smart. Continue. Now let's go to the red section. Now let's start drawing in red. I'll go a little darker here for this red. So what's the first thing in front of us? This right here. This is the closest thing to us. It's sticking towards us. So I just do a little thing right here. You can do this with hair also. You know, just squibbly lines, nothing much. Now what's next? Well, you look at it and you say, let's do this one. This one is ahead of the one above it. So we'll do this. And again, I'm gonna do this very quickly because you guys are gonna get bored in a hurry. So I'm just gonna fudge this and just do this as quickly as possible. It's not gonna be a perfect drawing. Again, I don't care. Now, again, where this is a big deal because these two right here, this one and this one, are forward. So you really can't see the limb attached to it. This one, I think you can. I'm gonna make a decision here. And I'm gonna do this. Yeah, there we go. Just like that. This one, no, I'm just going to leave it like that. It's going straight up. So the limb is being covered by this one right here, so I'm not drawing it. Let me zoom in a little bit on the face so you can see what's going on. With the face, again, same rule. Draw what's closest to us. So I want to do here is I want to draw the face before I actually draw the trunk of the of this alien tree. So there's one brow. There's another brow. Now keep in mind, anything that's blue or green, if you're drawing on a piece of paper, it's pencil, it'll be erased. Even this right here in the red could be a darker pencil before you go to ink or before you scan it and color it. But again, this is in layers. You can start adding stuff if you want. This guy has kind of a little bit of a nose right here. And right here with the mouth, I want to put a little dot there and a dot there. And the reason I do this is because there is a protrusion here of the cheek, here and here. And I kind of want to know, see, that one's a little off. When you're drawing something that's symmetric basically means one side is the same as the other side. They look identical. Look at this right here and say, okay, there's a little bit of a line right there, and then the cheek comes out. So you want to draw a little line, and then have the cheek come out and kind of approximate it. And it sort of looks the same. You notice where I put that little dot right there? It really should be like about right there. So when I do this Joker face here, pretty close. Pretty close. And we'll do this. We'll do this. Teeth. Yeah, I'll give him teeth. I'll do that too. There we go. Let's zoom back out. As something I do that you don't have to, is I'll do a little bit of shading in certain spots. And I just do this to pop things out a little bit. Do a little bit of shading. Like if the light source is coming from here, there'll be more shading down here perhaps. I won't do it this time around. Maybe in a future installment I will. But bring this out here. Oh, hell. Let's give it legs. Let's give it little stumpy legs. Why not? Sure. Little feetsies right there. There we go. The hero pose. There's only an alien tree can do. This next part I've sped up 400% because it would be so boring otherwise. Basically, it's line variation. I'm taking a thicker line of red. I'm going over the thinner line of red. And if it was pen on a piece of paper, it'd be the amount of pressure you place on the paper. Thick lines, thin lines, thick lines, thin lines. I go back and forth between them because, in my opinion, a more imperfect line just looks better, more natural to me. It's how I do it. Not necessarily how you might do it. Again, it's a preference. It's a style. It's why I don't teach inking, at least in this first episode, because it's more about you. It's less about what I'm going to teach you and more about what you want it to look like in its final form. So there it is, and there you go. And let's move on. Again, we're going through it, starting with blue. I erased some of this to this part, to this part. And that is how you draw an alien tree. I did finish the tree. I inked it in. And the reason I didn't show you the inking was simply because inking is more of a preference. It's a personal preference depending on, I'm doing it digitally, but if you're using any kind of pens, whatever you might be using, the line weight, how hard you press on the paper, the variations of line width, you can have thin and thick lines like you did on the red layer. It's up to you. I know what my students are saying. You've been talking, droning on and on and on about this cartoon you've made. Where is it? Well,
at last, brothers, our quest is at an end. Yes, brothers, the chosen one has been found. At last. At last. Bob Ross. He will lead us to a return to nature of which we love and the human creatures have taken from us with their corruption and greed and waste. Bob Ross. He will be our champion. Bob Ross. Bob Ross. Bob Ross is good and kind and wholesome. He is universally loved and a hero we need now.
Oh, what happened? Why am I so poorly drawn?
Even the resurrected have opinions. Give a mouse a cookie, it will ask for a glass of milk.